So just the other part of the analogy of a dream, like when I wake up in the morning and a dream was there and the dream is gone, was the dream ever there?
But even during the dream, Matthias, your mind was wide awake, knowing the dream. So you were never really asleep. If you, oh sorry, you awareness, if you awareness had been asleep, you would not have been aware of the dream. Awareness was wide awake in the dream, knowing the dream. The dream was added to awareness. The dream was removed from awareness. But nothing happened to awareness. Awareness didn't fall asleep and then wake up. A dream was added to it, an image was added to it, an image was removed to it.
But the ultimate truth is I as awareness.
The ultimate truth is the consciousness that appears outside in the world and appears inside as my mind. So these two realities, the ideal world, the world of mind on the inside, and the real world, that is the world on the outside, they are both modulations of the same consciousness. They are the same consciousness viewing itself from a localized perspective. There isn't even a real difference. You can't find the line between these two. It doesn't really divide itself in two. It's always a single infinite whole, but it seems to divide itself in two, a subject that knows and an object, or a multiplicity and diversity of objects that are known, for the purpose, to enable it to perceive itself in form. So the subject and the object never really come into existence. They are illusions. What is real is the whole. And both the inside mind and the outside world derive its existence from the whole. They are the same reality, the same whole.
And that is I. That is the I.
That is I. Yes. That is I. So the I is the nature of the universe. The universe is I. I is the identity of reality, the only identity there is. So I is the name, I is the sacred name which refers to infinite consciousness alone. That's all the word I should be used for. Why? Because infinite consciousness is the only entity, if we can call it an entity. It's not an entity. It's the only reality there is. It is the only one that is worthy of the name I. Because I is the name that which knows itself gives to itself. But what is it that knows itself? Only infinite consciousness knows itself.
And it just becomes messy when I is charged with the personal.
Yes, exactly. When I seems to acquire the limitations of the body mind, this infinite I seems to become a temporary finite I. That is the illusion. That is the ego, or the separate self. It doesn't really exist, but it seems to exist. The dream analogy, you've heard me say, your own mind. The dream you have at night is the activity of your own mind. But your own mind divides itself in two. The person you seem to become in your dream, the separate subject of experience in the dream, from whose perspective the dreamed world is known, and the rest of the activity of your mind appears as the world. Now, was your mind ever when you wake up in the morning, was your mind ever really divided into two? A subject? No, it was all one field. But that one field of your own mind localized itself as the separate subject of experience that you seemed to become in your dream, in order to view the rest of its activity as the dreamed world. I would suggest consciousness is doing exactly the same thing, except that whereas when we have a dream at night, we localize ourselves as a single subject of experience within the dream world. I would suggest that consciousness localizes itself simultaneously as numerous separate subjects of experience, that is, all living beings, including all animals.
And the question, who am I, is still a method that is asked from a personal separate self, trying to focus oneself
that's
to
it.
the divine I.
The character in the dream, from whose point of view the dreamed world is known, is miserable. And his friend says to him, you're not miserable because of X, Y, and Z. You're miserable because you have forgotten who you truly are. Who are you really? So the apparently separate self in the dream then begins to explore, who am I really? I think I am this consciousness located in the head. So it begins to trace and the reason it thinks this is because when it closes its eyes, the world disappears. When it opens its eyes, the world appears. So it presumes that I, consciousness, is located in the head. So his friend tells him, okay, go into the sense of I. Find that which is aware of your experience. And so he begins to, the character in the dream begins to look for the knowing with which he knows the dreamed world. Well, the knowing with which he knows the dreamed world, not only is it not located in his own body, it's not even located anywhere in his world. It's located in Matthias, asleep, in wherever it is you live. Nothing. It's not. Whereabouts are you?
Germany.
You're in Germany. So but you dream you're on the streets of London. That the knowing with which you know the streets of London is nowhere to be found in the dreamed world. It is in your mind asleep in Germany. So the knowing with which each of us currently know this experience is not to be found anywhere in this world of time and space. It is in a dimension that the mind cannot access precisely because the mind is limited. But it's not a dimension that is other than this dimension. It is a dimension that is the essence or nature of this dimension of time and space.
So God, or this infinite intelligence, or this I, this awareness, it must be perfect.
Perfect. It
Why
must
would it
be
need something imperfect.
It must be perfect. It is whole. It is complete, and thus its nature is peace. It needs nothing. Thus its nature, from a human point of view, we say its nature is peace and happiness. All that means is it doesn't obviously it doesn't conceptualize itself as peace and happiness, but from a human perspective, a human being that is used to agitation and suffering, by contrast with that agitation and suffering, we say the nature or the essence of our mind, the nature of ourself, is peace and happiness because it is whole, perfect, complete. It needs nothing. It lacks nothing. It cannot be disturbed.
But why would it need an imperfect world?
From its point of view, it does not know an imperfect world. An imperfect world is only such from the illusory perspective of a separate subject of experience. It is only the separate subject of experience that says the world is imperfect. If you were to ask consciousness, what is your view of the world? Consciousness wouldn't say, I know nothing of a world. I just know myself and my own activity.
It knows nothing.
It knows nothing. No, it knows nothing of a separate world. It just knows itself and its own activity. A separate world is only a separate world from the perspective of a separate subject of experience. It's only from that point of view that there is good, bad, right, wrong, perfection, imperfection, etc. From consciousness' point of view, there is just consciousness. And that is what it means. It's inherently good. This is Plato, the good, the true, and the beautiful. It's not good that is the opposite of bad. It is the good that knows no opposite. It's the beauty that is not the opposite of ugliness. It has no opposite. It is truth that has no opposite. It is that these are the absolute values, if we can call them values or qualities, of infinite consciousness.
And that's I. That's our true nature.
That's it. That's I. I is the name of that which is. I is the name that which is gives to itself. So if we were to ask consciousness, what do you call yourself? If consciousness could respond, it would say, my name is I. That's why God said to Moses, I am that's why God said to Moses, my name is I am, because I is the name that which knows itself gives to itself, and only infinite consciousness knows itself. And infinite consciousness shines in each of us as the knowledge I. Everybody feels I. That is God's being shining in each of our minds as the essence of each of our minds.